Hello everybody, I am here once again with another amazing artist here at New York Comic Con. Allenerie is here. I've been following you for at least a year, maybe two, and your artwork's absolutely incredible. Do you mind telling us about it?
Yeah, so I usually do a lot of illustration. I'm specialized in character design and illustration. I like mostly gacha games, so a lot of my illustration basically do more of a splash art type character. So yeah, mostly that's
it really shows. I look at some of your pieces like the Cyano, I look at the Luke, and I just see it looks like it could have been the official splash art. And even just some of your other pictures, it just shows. So why splash art?
I think it's because I like gacha game, especially. I've been playing a lot of MMORPG or gacha game a lot, like Genshin Impact, Arc Knights, Grand Blue Fantasy, Alchemy Stars, those types. So those type, I really like a character that's complementing with the backgrounds, and there's a lot of elements in the background that's surrounding them with some dynamic poses, and just in terms of compositions, a nicer composition as well. So those really struck me, and it just inspires me to make splash art. I really do MMO. The first time it's definitely MMO, and then I usually do more illustration. Because as an artist, usually you are kind of experimenting from very beginning to you keep on experimenting and trying new style,
right.
And you can never always find something you I guess really like. But then I think because in terms of illustration, I do like a good composition illustration as well. But for some reason, I don't know, it's just having a full body, and then I guess it might be the influence of the game itself too. Because when I was playing gacha game, you will when you pull,
right.
You'll have them suddenly struck there, boom. So it feels it's just suddenly in your face.
Okay.
But then everything around it, the way they framed it, it looks so nice that I think it struck me kind of. It's suddenly you're oh, that's really cool, and then you kind of wanted to try doing it.
Yeah.
And I think it's also the influence of the live 2D of it. When they got animated, you just feels it's alive.
Yeah.
And so you feel it's really nice that you wanted to do something similar. Yeah. And then it's even in the terms of when you're leveling them up, and then they change the
forms,
the forms and everything, and you're oh my gosh, they suddenly look really cool, and all this background element behind them, it complements the character so much that you're just yeah, I want to do that too, So I think that might be the start. And then when I was trying it, I was actually, you know what, I really enjoy it. I enjoyed it a lot more than let's say I'm just finding an illustration or trying to find comments, and maybe because I'm kind of bad at perspective and stuff, so I think more abstract stuff where you can put kind of not too, let's say, logical or realistic.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's the fantasy of it, right? Because you can kind of put floating building with that perspective, or just anything that doesn't have to be specifically. Maybe that also hides so that I can't the fact that I can't do perspective or more technical terms, but it's fun, I think.
It sort of tells a story with the character, or tells you a bit about their personality, that sort of feeling.
For the entire thing, right? It's it just, I guess emphasize the character more.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah. I think for me, a really good one is Silver Ash from his first promotion. He's oh, hello, nice to meet you. And then his E2 art is you may call me daddy.
That's what a lot of people do, yeah. Or sometimes it's just you know how it's really nice, the way they do it. It's you kind of have this oh, it's a normal character without background, and you're they're simple characters. But then when boom, E2 art, it's wow, a really nice clothing with a really nice pose with all this nice background. It just feels leveled up a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And it really impacts you in a good way.
Yeah. So what exactly would say has been your biggest influence in terms of creating art?
I would say the gacha games, all these gacha games, I said, Genshin Impact, Grand Blue Fantasy, Alchemy Stars, Arc Knights. I think you can kind of see I kind of like similar type of stuff.
Yeah.
Even like Azure Lane, the kind of stuff. Like I think if you can also see the development, I think from all these gacha games, like they used to be more simpler, and now it's like more of them gets more complicated as it like it goes. Like all of them like kept on like being so good now, but all the references they have and like the inspiration they have is just like a lot like for me. Yeah.
So, which gacha game right now has your favorite style of art?
Style-wise, maybe Alchemy Stars actually.
Alchemy Stars?
Yeah. I think I used to like Granblue a lot. Granblue definitely, and then Arknights. But then I think Alchemy Stars lately has been like such a really art direction, like good dark art directions that I don't know, it's just really nice. Like they are really well composed, and I think everything like the elements behind it, everything is like just really complements the character a lot. So
Your artwork really shows that, and even more so in your original art. Like your original art is absolutely fantastic. Do you mind telling me what exactly is this book you have here?
yeah, so this is a book that basically me and my partner like have. Like my partner do like we created like a world. So they would do like the characters like building, like the world building, writing basically, and all the stories, and I would be the one who is like doing an illustration. So that's why like this piece is actually really like our book itself is really personal for me, because it's even though it's this actually not the main world that we are having right now, because we're creating like an original story, a main story about like something that like was really personal to us as well, because this is like kind of back in our MMO days basically, when we were like playing with friends and everything. So we have like this kind of world of like traveling, like MMO, all that stuff, and now we're having like kind of like a side book that basically shows like a side characters, or like more like an introduction to like what you can see in like the main story later on. So it's like you can see like a bit of the class, or the race, or what else? The class, race. Yeah, I guess like the job. Yeah, job as well, or like a little bit of like the world as well, a little bit like, and that's how it also like connects to what I like, which is like a splash art. So now you can see it in like kind of a splash art type. Yeah, but that's basically.
Yeah, it's absolutely great. I mean, for me personally, I really like that Shadow Master character that you have there. Like, so what's your favorite character that you've so far done there?
I think right now we have Hellwalker, which is kind of like this like class that's like in a dark element. And how do you say it? It's like we have a specific, like some of the job and classes definitely have a specific to like the race as well. So this art book kind of like shows you, I think it's like one of the unique, like I personally I think it's like one of our unique like character, because that's like because it's basically still like based on MMO.
Right.
Like you kind of see like all the classes that's like related to MMO. So it's like we do have like knights, like priests, like archer type, but instead of archer we call it like a different name. So we would call it as like a wind rider instead of like archer. And in the wind rider we have like a sub classes as well, which is like one using crossbow and one that's like using a bow type of thing. So in terms of that, it's the same thing as like Hellwalker, where it's like a class that's like using a scythe as their weapon, and they're using like dark elements, and it's like an exclusive job that's only like for a certain race in our book as well. Yeah, so that's why like it feels like a little special, because like we kind of found like a name that's fitting for like the class. So I think that's like the fun of like making this art book. It's like you can kind of like think of like a name of like the class, the job, and it's like you're making it like feel, how do you say, like special to yourself. So that's why it's good. Like now it's like a good introduction to like what it is like you can see in the world, and then like later on, like when we have like our main story out there, like you kind of like see like, oh, like this is kind of like the characters that was there, or like they have this classes or like jobs or like race, like the dwarf people or like the people that's like in the underwater or like the air and stuff like that. So yeah.
No, it really shows, and your artwork is absolutely amazing. And so for people who maybe they want to find out more about your art and see more about it, where could they find you?
You can find me at Allenerie in Twitter, and also Instagram allenerie.artscrap. Or also if you want to see like other like arts or like commissions and all of that, I do have a website that's www.allenerie.com. Yeah, you can find me there.
All right. Well, thank you so much for talking with me, and let me just tell you, I love your art. I've been following you for so long, and it's absolutely incredible.
Thank you so much for this opportunity, really though. Thank you. Appreciate it.
No worries.